All right, Louise Potter, how are you today?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I don't know, we'll have to see how you are after I ask you this question.
You've yet to stump me. So,
So, there, as licensed, well, you are the broker of record for EXP in Ohio, but this is a
correct.
question that is for all real estate agents. There are
Yes.
certain things because of our license that we're not allowed to talk about, like crime, how good is this school district, stuff like that. So what do we do? Because
Well,
they
those
ask,
things, yeah, they do ask. And those things cross over into fair housing and all of that.
right?
So that's why we have to be a little cautious we can't be the expert in all things.
Well, yeah, and
So,
we don't live. I mean, if well, what if
right.
you? I mean, I don't usually live in the neighborhood, but like, what if you do live in the neighborhood and they ask you like, how safe is it here? Are you allowed to be like, I mean, I live here,
Well, first off, define safe.
right?
Each person's definition is different, and that
Yeah,
that's really true with school systems, because a soccer program may be more important to somebody than the STEM, the
yeah,
science and technology and
yeah.
all of that. And so you don't know, they tell have you ever heard buyers are liars? Good heavens, they're not liars, they just haven't clarified their thinking yet. But
Yeah,
sometimes what they tell you and what they actually want are two different things.
true.
I remember years ago, my mom, I mean, I was like totally appalled because I was talking about showing, a neighborhood, and which was a new neighborhood, and I was really excited to go see it. And
Yeah.
my mother said, "Do you know who all lives there?"
Oh, who lives
And
there,
that was pretty
girl?
much my reaction. Mom,
What does that mean?
and that was a good question. It was like, did
No.
you have a martini this morning for breakfast or what? I had no idea where she was going with that. But that's some of the reason, like, we have to be careful with what we say. So
Yeah.
when somebody asks me if an area is safe, I don't say, oh yeah, it's safe, because the next thing that's going to happen, they're going to get held up at gunpoint on their front doorstep,
Right.
which happened to me in a lovely neighborhood where I live.
You got held up at gunpoint?
Yeah, they were trying to carjack me, and I
What did
had
you
a
do? Beat them
25.
up?
I was actually trapped between my storm door and the porch railing. So I had things, my purse and everything in my hands, and I threw them all in their face and started banging on the door screaming,
Oh
because
my
he's standing on the
gosh.
step below me with a 25 semi-automatic in my face. And they turned and ran, and they had my car keys, but somebody heard me scream, and the police caught them 10 minutes later.
Oh
Had
wow.
to go
That's fast.
identify them, had to go to court. They were juveniles. The one turned 16 overnight in jail.
Little shits.
But that's a really traumatic experience. But that was in a beautiful neighborhood.
You never
And
know. Things
you
happen
don't.
anywhere.
And the beauty of the neighborhood was somebody called the police right away, and they caught him right away.
Right. But for
So,
some people, nosy neighbors are not good.
right. So, to me, what I do when somebody asks that question, if you want to know about the statistics and the crime rate and, whatever in the neighborhood, I suggest you talk to the police department. I
Hmm.
suggest you go to a website and check the crime reports.
Right.
Here's some links, or, you can go and Google it and search it yourself. But what's important to you may not be important to me, or what's important to me may not be important to you. So
Right.
I'm going to give you the resources, and you go do the investigation.
Yeah. I would even think like giving them the resources because that stuff's always changing. You know
And
what I
it
mean?
does. And, I always give them two or three different sites, and I try to stay up on them too. But, I mean, it is rampant everywhere. Crime is rampant pretty well everywhere. I mean,
Hmm.
it's a fact of life. And,
Hmm.
don't leave your bike out in the front yard and your garage unlocked or your back
Right.
door open.
Right. Or
Um,
do, I don't know. If you
it depends on, what trips your trigger, but,
right.
give them the resources, point them in the right direction, and allow them to do the investigation. And that's sort of the same with a school system,
Yeah.
because again, I don't know what's important to you, And, here the, we're looking in these, you have identified, not me,
Right.
these
Yeah.
different school districts. So
Right.
here are the websites for each of those. Here's the website for the report cards. Here are people to talk to.
Right.
So make sure you do your investigation.
Yeah, I think that that's good. Like anything that we're not allowed to, I even say sometimes like, hey, I think a lot of those schools will let you visit. You should just call and like talk to them, set up a time to visit and see what you think. Because even if a school is good, the kid may not like it.
Right. And I've even driven out of town clients to the district board office and dropped them off or, waited for them while they went in and checked it out and got the information.
Right.
But by allowing them to do it, it's, then it's not turned back on me. Well, you told me, Jennifer, you told me this was a good school district.
I'd be like, I did no such thing. I have no children.
Yes, you did. Don't you remember on Tuesday? You told me.
I'd be like, I did not remember. You are now blocked, Louise. No, I'm just kidding.
Darn her. Yeah, I mean, this applies even to like home inspections.
Yeah.
Oh, that roof looks great.
Right.
Bad answer.
Right.
Hey, if you have a question about the integrity of the roof, we'll have the inspector look at it.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what the inspector gets up there. And
yeah, those are beams in that basement, but I'm not sure why they're there. So that's why we have a home inspection.
I think the important thing is here too, is like stay in your lane, right? So it's like, if there are things that are like certain facts that maybe we know that there's one school that's report card is A and another school that they're targeting's report card is F, but like, it's not necessarily something we can render an opinion on. You're like, okay, here's the website, or there's websites that rate the schools, or there's people that you could talk to, but like, I don't attend that school. Like, I don't, and even if I did, like, even if I lived in the neighborhood, it's like, I mean, I don't know. Like,
my job as an agent is to be a clearinghouse of information.
Yeah.
My job isn't sales. My job is education. My job is allowing the client to take the tools that I hand them
and make their decision
and make an educated decision based on that. I all too often hear agents say, well, I know, my client won't do this and my client won't. Well, did you even ask your client? Have you even discussed this with your client?
Right.
Because really that kind of should come first.
Yeah, probably.
If you ever talk to me, you'll hear me say, I want you to lay out the options and allow them to decide.
Right.
Then you can't go wrong. And that is universal across the country.
Yes, that is universal. Yeah.
And that's the way that you build two lasting relationships with that client. Because
you can't make their decision for them. Like, it's their decision. It's their money. They're going to be living there. You're not going to be living there. It's their investment. It's not yours.
Right. But you want them to make the right decision for them. So you're going to give them the tools to do so.
Right.
So that they come back to you and their children come back to you and their friends all come to you and you build that really strong base of referral business instead of having to go out and beat the streets and, have new business all the time, which we know takes 100 times more energy than a referred business.
It's true. Well, you're talking to the wrong person. I love generating leads. But
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And that's great. But if you don't have to do, you love working with somebody who's referred to you because they already know you, like you, and trust you because that person that's referred you has told them how great you are.
Yeah. Allegedly. Yeah, I assume so. Yeah. But
yes,
like,
we're going to go with yes. Okay.
Right. Theoretically, yes, they have. So, okay. So our point here and how to talk about things that you're not allowed to talk about is to provide the resources for them to, like you said, lay out all the options, provide the resources for them to figure out what the information is, and then they need to make a decision.
Absolutely.
And the words you can say are just like, this is a topic that I'm not allowed to render an opinion on, but here's some resources that can help you decide. And that's it.
Yeah. And it's,
or I don't feel comfortable giving you an opinion because I don't know.
I'll say, my opinion isn't what counts here.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what's most important to you. You tell me
better.
words, but I don't know what's more important to you. So what my job is here, Jennifer, is to give you these resources and allow you to make that decision based on
what you think
information.
Right.
Yes.
That's
because
perfect.
there may be something in there that you really, really like, or you really, really don't like.
Right.
That, slips by me. So you're the best person to make
that's
that
even
decision.
better. Yeah, that's great language. Well, as always, we appreciate you being on, Louise. Did you have a final thought?
That's it.
Okay. No, that's great.
No. I just, this is, your words are important. What you do is important. And this is why teachers make such great realtors, is because they understand the importance of laying out the information and letting people absorb it and then decide from there. So that's all.
I like it. So if people want to get a hold of you specifically, obviously, if they're at EXP, they can go into the work chat and find you very easily. And you're quick. You are fast to answer.
I'm on it all the time.
You need to take a vacation, Louise.
It's kind of sad, I know.
And then if they're not with EXP, how can they get a hold of you?
My email is Louise, LOUISE .Potter, POTTER @exprealty.net, or they can give me a call, 614-226-6981.
Awesome. Thanks for being on.
Yeah, thank you.